Hi everyone, welcome to our greenhouse. This is our live from the greenhouse. This is our Saturday stroll, so go ahead, say hello, let us know that you're watching, and grab a cup of coffee, grab a donut, or maybe some fruit. I mean, bikini season's coming up this summer, so maybe you want to grab the healthier option. So grab something, enjoy, and I'm just going to take you on a little tour of the greenhouses. We're going to stay in our back greenhouses today, but we do have our three greenhouses up front, our selling greenhouses. Those are really starting to fill up. So maybe next Saturday we'll take a walk through there. But I'm gonna take you along with me in our back greenhouses. So be sure to let us know that you're watching. And if you see something that you like, let us know. Or that something's really pretty, go ahead, comment down below. Also, tell us where you're watching from. That's always really cool to see that, our little corner of the world up here in Crivitz, Wisconsin, that people all over the world are watching. So we know that people from Italy, Mexico, Canada, Dublin, Ireland, it's really a lot of fun to see those comments and where you're watching from. So let's go ahead and start taking our walk. So we've been heavily cleaning up our geraniums, and we actually made some room, so we brought some geraniums up front. But one of the first things I want to show you is this really cool tri-colored, this is potato vine, or Ipomoea, and there's a tag on it. So this tricolor, this is just a really unique variegation in the leaves, and it's a favorite of our customers. We sell a lot of potato vine, and just one thing that you do need to know about potato vine is it is very fickle when it comes to cold weather. So you really have to watch how early you put the potato vine out. Yeah, it does not like cold weather, and it will curl up, and it can lose its life pretty easily. So you do have to watch that. I'm just going to take a quick pan here. It's a little gloomier day, but sometimes the colors will show up a little bit brighter when the sun's not shining. So all these are potted up. They're triple plugs. And what we're doing with these is we're basically making space. So all this material is going to be used for hanging baskets, but we don't have room for hanging baskets. If you can see, there's just no room to go with them. So these two back growing greenhouses are completely full, and the three front greenhouses are completely full of hanging baskets. So there's nowhere to go. So what we're going to do is we've got these in planters right now, and they're triple plugs. So you can see in this one plug, there's actually three different plants. So they're coming all from the same spot, and they grow just fine like that. And this will fill out, and once we have room, once we start selling hanging baskets, then we will pop these into bigger hanging baskets and get those going and growing. We have lots of vinca vine. One of the unique things about vinca vine, you can just let it go if you want, but if you want a bushier vine, anywhere that you clip it, you just nip that off, then two will sprout from there. So it'll kind of like fork out. So if you want a bushier vinca vine, go ahead and just give it a nip. There's some little 8-inch baskets up here. These are all the moss roses. Moss roses will not be blooming today because they have to have sunshine. If the sun's not out, they're not blooming. So you can see that one's pretty tight there. But moss rose or portulaca hanging baskets, those are very popular for us because they're very easy to care for. So just some of that color up there. Lots of geraniums. But you'll notice no color on the geraniums because we went through and cleaned them up this week. We want them to put their energy into growing, not blooming yet. So we went through and took off all the blooms. I know it's kind of sad, but that's just how we do it in the greenhouses. All of our benches move, so that's how we maximize space. So these benches just roll, and it's very easy to get in, and they're on rollers, they're on pipes, and that's one of our maintenance. I'm constantly replacing bearings on these benches. You can see we have lots of potato vines. So this is your more traditional, normal, this is the Marguerite series. And if you like this green potato vine, you really do have to watch, because there's two varieties. There's one that is a much more compact, and then there's one that trails down much further. So you really have to be aware. Take a look at that tag. But the potato vine is just absolutely growing like crazy. There's just color everywhere. Hanging baskets are all really starting to pop and crest over, and that growth is just going nuts. Look at how these hanging baskets are just cresting over. All these super petunias, they're just going gangbusters. These are little petunias. These are the Capella series. And then this is a unique one. This one is Queen of Hearts, I believe. How do you like that? So Queen of Hearts. Look at the flower in that. Don't you love that? Those are gorgeous. Super petunias here. So this is a mix of the magenta and the royal velvet. Look how dark that is. So this is a combination of the two. I think this is one of the prettiest hanging baskets. And this is a 12-inch hanging basket. That will be absolutely huge. I mean, it's just tiny right now. It's like a little puppy. Those get massive. Absolutely love those. Those are just stunning. So we had showed this, I think, last week. These are sticky traps. And we put them all over throughout the greenhouses, and it's just a way for us to monitor. And you can use these at home too. So we showed that, I think that was last week, the sticky traps. But you can just see I've got a few of the fungus gnats. Not a big deal, but this week I went through and I was using the systemic insecticide, and that's just a way for prevention. And then the sticky traps actually catch the adults. Because the systemic does not do anything for the adults, it only kills the eggs. So once it's in the soil, then it kills the eggs. So you can kill off that next cycle. The Kufia, this is Kufia, and you can see these little tiny flowers. They're just starting. This is one of the #1 for hummingbirds. So it's Kufia. And that's spelled C-U-P-H-E-A. It's one of the #1s for hummingbirds. So this series is called Honeybells. And I just want to show you some of these. Some of these begonias are just gorgeous. Do you like begonias? They're shade lovers. This is the Homilus series. So the flowers on the Homilus are smaller. They're a little bit smaller, but you have a lot more flowers on them. And there's some with a little darker foliage. This hotter pink has just a little bit darker foliage. I'm going to try to get over by these. Take a look at this color. So that is the Homilus. And you can see it has multiple blooms, but they're a little bit smaller. Then I'll move over to the traditional begonias. This is your regular tuberous nonstop begonia. So you can see that these flower heads are a lot bigger. Look how big this white is now, compared to my hand. Begonias, you do need to clean them up, and it's very easy to do. I'm just going to go through and I'm going to nip this one right off because these are so big and they have a lot of moisture content in them. Once they're done, they'll look like a big juicy mushroom. So when they're done, make sure that you go through on this back side here and deadhead them. And all you have to do is just nip that right off and then take that out. So once that's done, you don't want it falling down and getting in the soil. So you do want to go through and clean up your tuberous begonias. This next week we're going to be making up some hanging baskets with the tuberous begonias and the Homilus begonias. Look at that color. And back to our vines. We have all the vines on the sides here. It just makes it a little bit easier. This is the Lysimachia. This is a really nice one. Very prolific. Wherever it touches, if it touches soil, it'll start rooting in. So it just kind of keeps going. It's not invasive or anything like that, but it is prolific. Wherever it touches it, it starts rooting in. I'm not even going above here. There's all these flowers up over my head. This is another mixture of that magenta. These are all super petunias. And the royal velvet, and then there's a white in there. So that's going to be a really cool combination. More of the Homilus begonias. Look at that. Look at that cluster. Isn't that cool? So what we do with the begonias when we put them in 8-inch or 10-inch hanging baskets, I like to go through and stick some wax begonias on the side just to really fill it out. And I usually do white wax begonias just because white goes with anything. And it just makes a fantastic little hanging basket. We sell lots of those. Look how brilliant this yellow is. It's a really good yellow, nice and rich color. These are all our climbing. So we have candy corn back here, and then we also have the Thunbergia, or climbing black-eyed Susan. And they're just little yet, but they are very aggressive climbers. So if you like a climber that can go in the full sun, Thunbergia is for you. And we put them on the back, our very back bench, because they grow so aggressively that they just kind of get tangled up. And so we put them all by themselves in the back. This is another vine. This is a grapevine. This is glaucoma. Not glaucoma like you have in your eyes, but glaucoma, also known as creeping Charlie. And it has an aroma to it. It's in that mint family. And it's a great, these make great little hanging baskets for people that want to help keep away the mosquitoes. It just gives off an aroma that the mosquitoes don't like. So they're very popular for us. So that is Creeping Charlie. Look at this hanging basket already. I mean, we're so early in the season, and just look at the growth on this. And I hope you've been following week to week. I know that you can just literally see that growth. Here's that Queen of Hearts again in a hanging basket. This one's really cool. This is a Funhouse Melba. Look at that color. We got our Gerbera daisies, not blooming yet. Dahlias, we've been trying to stay on top of the dahlias grow so fast. They got trimmed this week. I'm gonna go up here. Take a look at this hanging basket already. I mean, these hanging baskets are just exploding with growth. This one's called Ringo Starr. Look at that. And lots of coleus. Look at some of the flavors of these coleus. Look how unique this coleus is. How do you like this? Do you like that variegation? I think these are so cool. If you like just kind of a yellowish and copper color. And there's more over here. This has the ruffled edges. It's really unique. So go ahead and comment and let us know what you like. Here's more potato vine, and this is actually the dark, and there's a different shape to the leaf. There's one that has a more of a spade. So this is the darky. This is the blackie. So it'll start out this lighter green, but then it turns dark. You can see we have a bunch of those all the way down. Lots of coleus. Lots and lots and lots of different colors. Look at the variegation on some of this. We have our lantana, and the lantana we've been cleaning up pretty heavily, so it got snipped this week, so there's not much for color. We got a few that are popping color again. It's just a constant right now of cleaning everything up. Verbena got trimmed and it's already back. You cut it and boom, it just comes right back. So this is verbena. Easy to clean up, but you do need to clean up verbena. Make sure if you have verbena in a container or a hanging basket, don't just let it go. You do need to clean it up. And it's just really easy. You just nip it off right behind that head. You know, do it at least once a week. So we tell our customers, you know, when it's Fertilizer Friday, you know, fertilize your plants, and if you have verbena, go through and clean it up. So again, just nip that right off. And you'll have lots of new buds. Osteospermum is not flowering yet. I can't wait to show you that. That's a really pretty one. This is alyssum. We always refer to this as alyssum on steroids. So this is just a really, really aggressive alyssum. You almost have to watch what you mix it with. You have to mix it with other flowers that are also aggressive, otherwise it'll just take over. I once did a hanging basket with alyssum, and it was massive. It was kind of messy though. It looked like it snowed on the lawn, but they were probably at least 5 feet in diameter, the hanging baskets, and it was just solid white alyssum. This is another little vine, and it does get a little flower, a little like hot pinkish flower. So it's just starting there. And into kind of our unique petunias. This is that night sky. These are so cool. What do you think of these? Isn't that cool? Just has that speckled look. Those make a stunning hanging basket. Plectranthus has this big, like, velvety leaf. This is a great one for keeping mosquitoes away. So this is the lemon twist. This gets big. It has more of a like a lemony smell to it. This is the traditional Plectranthus. We usually do not mix this because it gets really big. It almost becomes a bush. But it's a great one to put on your porch or your outside living areas, because it does help keep the mosquitoes away. The Nemesia is just starting to pop. Almost looks like a little snapdragon, but it's not. More petunias. Some nice colors on these. This is the coral. These are not super petunias. These are the smaller. These are more appropriate for, they're not as vigorous as the super petunias, so a little more appropriate for making like a smaller hanging basket or smaller container. They won't get huge. Look at how rich this This one is called mulberry. Look how dark that color is. Some more vines. A few little calibrachoas. Most of these are in our front greenhouses, so that's why I don't have many back here. This is also potato vine. This is that spade, the shaped leaf that I was talking about. So it's more of a heart shape. The straw flower is starting to pop. It's kind of a crunchy. The deer don't like it, so they typically stay away from it. So that's why it's very popular for our customers. All right, let's go take a walk into the other greenhouse, see what we've got. I don't even know what I'm going to do with these. These are the Lofos, and look at, I mean, oh, they're just growing like crazy right now. So I think I'm going to have to give them a trim because look at, they're starting to get tangled up with each other. So that's one of the week's jobs, is to figure out what I'm going to do with all the Lofos. Amy brought our orchids out. So these were in our house. And our propagation chamber, we got some peppers. So I seeded these the other day and showed how we do that. Nothing's up yet, but they have that bottom heat. So this just keeps it nice and warm. Look at the growth on these. So this is where we have to start really separating these hanging baskets out because they're touching. So we got to figure out some room. Look at those Lofos back there. They're just starting to flower. Let me try to get back here. So it looks like just the white are flowering right now. So most of these are mixed, but the Lofos has all little flowers like this, and you can see they just start popping everywhere along that vine, and that whole thing will be full of flowers. All these are will produce flowers. So this is just the white, but we have red, and I think there's a hot pink, and they just get loaded, just lots of color. It's more of that velvet, that royal velvet. And we have more of our triple plugs. So you can see these have 3 different plants in one plug, and these will all get popped into hanging baskets once we have room. So you can see all the way down is all for hanging basket material. We actually have a little bit of room, so we're going to fill that up with more bedding plants, and pretty soon we'll be doing our vegetables. And the vegetables will take up about 10 or 12 benches of space. So we have to find some room. These are the 14-inch hanging baskets. Those get massive, absolutely massive. Back over to here. And yesterday was Fertilizer Friday, so we were talking about how to use a hose end sprayer. So if you didn't watch yesterday, and if you're considering a hose end sprayer, we like this one, and we showed how to use that. So be sure to go back and watch. This is a Petcoa. This is a nice color. This is a nice yellow. So Petcoas are a hybrid of Calibrachoa and petunias. So that's what those look like. Lot more begonias. So these are dragon wing and angel wing begonias. Look how pretty these angel wings are. I'm just going to move this around. Look how beautiful that is. Salvia, the salvia got a haircut also, and it got a haircut this week, and look, it came right back, but it's starting to flower. Lots of salvia. Argyranthemum. Can't wait for these to bloom so I can show you these. They're beautiful. They're like a little mum. Big long name, Argyranthemum. So there's some buds. So probably this week they'll be flowering. Purple fountain grass. These I have to get spaced out, and we're going to bring these up to our front selling greenhouses. These are all our fuchsia baskets. Well, these are the fuchsia baskets that we didn't have room, so we're going to move those up. Here's some more petcoas. Look how beautiful this color is. More petcoas. Here's a little closer of that yellow. Petcoas drink a lot, so you do have to watch your watering. That's why I have them on the, close to my aisle. That's why they're all down here, so that I can get to them in the afternoon, because they drink so much water. So just, be warned that they drink a lot. And if you have a petcoa hanging basket, yeah, you got to check them, because they drink like crazy. We're going to have our sunflowers here real soon. Look at, we got some buds. We got buds, so I bet you next week we'll have sunflowers showing. All along the walls there, these are all wave petunias, and we like the Easy Wave series because they're a little bit more compact, really full. They make a really nice container or hanging basket. They're not as big as the super petunias, but they make a really nice hanging basket. These are sun impatiens. So these are impatiens that can go in the sun. So they're just like a New Guinea, but they can go in the sun. So we have a few of these that are flowering already. Citronella. Citronella is a scented geranium. So this is where that smell, the citronella smell that they put in candles and, bug repellent. This is the actual plant that they get that from. It's actually in the geranium family, it's a scented geranium. And they get big. Look at, man, these are just going gangbusters, the size of these. I mean, this is a big hanging basket. This is a 14-inch hanging basket. And up above is where we have all our geranium hanging baskets. Or not all of them, but about 60 of them can fit up above this walkway here. And they live up in that heat. They're up about 9 feet. And they just do phenomenal up there. They'll sit in 120 degrees all day long and just love it. This is more petcoa. So Petunia calibracoa hybrid. This is the cinnamon color. Gazanias, I can't wait to show you the gazanias. They're really growing, but they're not popping yet because they're a little bit slower growing. But when they do, they just have this beautiful daisy on them. Have you grown gazanias before? Let us know. Because once you do, you just keep going back for more gazanias because they're so easy. very much drought resistant. I mean, they're a South African flower. So gazanias are just gorgeous. We raise a lot of gazanias. I love how these are growing. It's a lot of fun this time of year just to see. It's like you'll turn around and the next day some of the stuff will be bigger than when you went to bed, and you come back in the morning and you can just tell some of that growth. Marigolds are popping already. Lots of little buds. Marigolds are pretty carefree. You do have to deadhead them, and you just go behind and just nip it off there. They help deter insects and critters. So a lot of people plant marigolds around their garden, or they do help naturally to repel. So even when you deadhead them, keep this, because this flower smells, and just throw it on the ground by the rest of your stuff. If anywhere where you don't want the deer or even insects, they help just build a natural resistance and help keep the bugs away and help keep the critters away. It's not foolproof, but they do help. So that's going to be it for our Saturday stroll. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you're enjoying taking a little behind the scenes look what we do as greenhouse growers, and that early season. This stuff I can't wait for it to just be absolutely top to bottom flowers. That's what, maybe in another 2-3 weeks, you just can't believe the growth, and you'll see just color from top to bottom, behind me. We're in that early stage right now, but it'll start really clipping along quick. So I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching.